Yeah, so as I was mentioning, we're excited, for today's interview. With Bruce Allentuck, so Allentuck Landscaping, also my landscape academy and brightplants.com. So he's got some pretty cool stuff to share with us today. Uh, but yeah, no, looking forward to it, Bruce.
Yeah,
Thank you. Me
welcome.
too. Thank you for having me, both of you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I guess kind of starting off, if you can just kind of give us an overview of your business, Bruce.
Sure. So I started Allentuck Landscaping 36 years ago when I graduated college, landscape design and horticulture from NC State. We are a residential landscape design, build, and maintenance company here in Rockville, Maryland, which is just outside of Washington, D.C. We have about 45 employees, a great team. Our leadership team, crew leaders, and managers have about a tenure rate of a little over 16 years with our company. And yeah, we are what we sound like, and we have a great time and great customers, and it's been a really great career so far, and hope to continue it for a while longer. And then we also own my Landscape Academy, which is an online training platform that we originally started for our own staff and took it to market, and that's growing rapidly. And then a third business, rightplants.com. My daughter and I started, one of my daughters. She's a landscape architecture major at Virginia Tech, and we both like gardening. So we decided to make a common sense gardening website. And that's been a lot of fun to do with her. Very rewarding.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I'm sure, so building a company to 45 employees, I would say with that, it's I would imagine very rewarding, but there's some challenges that come along with it. And one of the things that you had mentioned was kind of just the amount of time that some of your team members have stayed with the company, and part of that is has a lot to do with how you lead the company and develop them as well. But I guess, do you have any pointers in regard to that side of things?
Well, I've always kind of followed the rule that I can't expect my team members to take care of our customers if I'm not taking care of our team members. So I think that's at the core of everything we do. They're just really great people, and I'm really grateful to get to work with them every day. And I enjoy going to work and being with them, and I miss them when I'm not there. And as we've grown, of course, I've gotten a little bit more distant, but I work hard to make sure I'm walking through the yard and visiting job sites and high-fiving and patting on backs. And, there's always a need to have some difficult conversations, but if it's done from a human perspective, I think that means a lot. But I like seeing our people grow, and I find that one of the most rewarding things about being in business. Our production managers both started as crew members, and watching them grow and get married and have kids and buy a house, and that's really cool stuff. So one of the most important things we did was buying or hiring an employee care admin. Her job is to make sure our employees are taken care of and can provide a voice and be heard. And she's also responsible for solving problems in their personal lives, because if those problems aren't solved, they come to work. The problems come to work. We want people to not feel they have to bring them to work.
No, that's awesome stuff. And what was the name of that position?
We call her employee care.
Very
I mean, she
nice.
also takes care of customer care, so it's a little bit of a split duty, but she has been a game changer in our company.
Wow.
Wow.
What are some of the things that she does for the employees?
So she holds one-on-ones with every production employee. So that's crew members and crew leaders. And of course, we're a bilingual company. So she can speak Spanish, native Spanish, and they feel comfortable talking to her. I'm not going to get the same answers. I'm not going to find out the same information, and neither is our GM. So they open up to her and let us know what the concerns are. She arranges celebrations. She makes sure that work anniversaries are, noticed and publicly spoken about. She helps with our awards programs. So it's a real important role, and I consider it key to our success. And she's just a really great person, so it's kind of easy.
Yeah, no, all of that sounds that sort of stuff sounds great. And I think, the earlier you could bring someone like that on, the better. But just out of curiosity, when did you decide to bring that person on?
So she's been with us for 3 years. So she started during COVID, which was a really critical time. I wish I had done it earlier. It's not something I really thought of, and it kind of fell into our laps a little bit. I'd love to take credit and say that was intentional, but it wasn't. She was hired for more of an admin role, and she started talking to our staff, and the light bulb went off that let's make this part of her employment agreement. So it was
awesome.
luck, but I'm glad we took advantage of it.
Yeah, and from what it sounds like, and probably when you look at team members in all their different capacities, is looking at someone and trying to almost gear a position towards maybe their strengths. It sounds like she's someone that can really have those kind of conversations, and the team members can kind of go to her.
Yeah, they do, and she's very caring. It's I wish I had thought of it so much earlier, and just the opportunity wasn't there, and to be able to take advantage of it. And she has really helped out some people in our company immensely. It's allowed us to help out people in our company, and that, like I said, if employees don't feel they're being cared for and not being heard, the delivery to the customer is entirely different. We talk about community a lot in our company, community externally and community internally, and I think they're both really important.
Yeah, no, it's definitely important. And no, that's great that you have someone like that in place. I think as busy business owners, it's like those little things kind of get those little things kind of get unnoticed or just not done when you have all of these things on your plate. So I think that's awesome. But kind of shifting gears here to your landscape academy, what kind of inspired you to start that?
So we recognized as we were growing that we weren't training crew members enough, new employees enough. We always kind of left it up to the crew leaders. And I like the idea of us being a learning company. So we started looking around at what was available in the marketplace, and there's a few things available, and didn't really like much of it and didn't feel it fit our needs. I wanted to cover safety, equipment, and process, and there was really nothing covering those 3 legs. So we set out and started creating our own, writing processes, photographs, pictures, those are the same thing, and creating videos. And it was successful for us, and we just kept adding on to it, making them better. And we're actually going through and redoing all the videos again to make them a little smoother and a little more informative. And then I showed it to some people in my peer group, and they loved it and asked if I would sell them the rights to use it. And a light bulb went off, and I said, you got to bring this to the market. So we started figuring out how to do that. We already had a little bit of digital experience in our background with right plants, so wasn't that difficult, although we're still learning. I think we'll always be learning in that field. And it's been kind of fun to do, and it's improved our performance greatly.
That's awesome. And Bruce, so for a new team member, how are those videos and that academy, how is that built into your process, when it also comes to, doing the actual work in the field? Like
Sure.
What does that mix typically look like?
So once they're hired, they get a password to My Landscape Academy. It's called My Landscape Academy. and they're expected before they even start work to hit X amount of videos. The videos and the modules are put together. So we have it in writing, we have it in photograph, we have it in video, because people learn in different ways. And then so they're showing up on day one with a basis of knowledge. Now, I don't think anybody's going to learn how to use a mower from watching a video properly. They'll learn how to start it, they'll learn some tricks. But it makes it an easier job for the crew leader to train to that video and to the lessons that we're teaching. Really what they start with is what we call foundations, which are the safety rules, how to connect a truck and trailer, how to help back up a truck, the hand signals, what poison ivy looks like, because we've actually been shut down for poison ivy in the past.
Oh, man.
Basic stuff like that. And then they move into the equipment and the processes, and it all builds on each other. And as they grow through our company, the more modules they learn, the more pay increases they get.
That's awesome. No, I absolutely love that. And, for anyone listening, I mean, first off, we put the link to My Landscape Academy down in the comments, so definitely check it out. And, almost looking at it in terms of the amount of time it will save the crew leader, it'll pay for itself pretty quickly, first of all. And it also, gives a great professional first impression when it comes to some of the new employees as well. So it's a pretty neat thing there, Bruce.
Thank you.
But
it goes back to telling people that we value you and want you to learn.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And you had touched on, safety, equipment, and process, which I thought was pretty interesting as well. Now, is this, what service lines within the green industry would you recommend this kind of course for?
Sure. So we have a maintenance tract, we have a landscape tract. We're developing drainage and lighting. We have some of that on there already, and we're moving into hardscape pretty soon, which is, much more complicated to teach. So we're trying to figure out what the best way to do that is so that it's meaningful. I think that it would benefit residential and commercial companies. We try to make sure we're addressing things that would be of interest to both, because a lot of companies do both, although there's plenty of companies that do one or the other. But, the processes, the equipment, it's all the same. There's just a little bit of nuance in each. We're not getting into customer service. We're not getting into things like that. There are programs out there that are way better than what we could ever create. That specialize in those skills. So we're focusing on field.
Very cool. Yeah. And I know you had also mentioned a term which I thought was pretty neat. A learning company.
Yes.
And that's definitely a shift. And I think that's, I think a lot of team members value that perspective, but I'm just curious what, was that always the kind of the view that you had when you started the business and, as you grew it?
Well, I think it comes from a little bit of my passion for learning. I love learning new things. I read all the time. And I feel that learning is a key to personal and professional growth. So I always wanted that to be a part of my company. And sometimes I think we've done it better than others. But the only way we get stronger is by learning. And as a company, we're only as strong as our weakest link. And so if we can continue to push education out there and push training out there and help people grow, it just benefits their lives as well as our company. It's pretty simple.
Absolutely. No, that's fantastic stuff. And is that training more for like the initial process, or is there some of the ongoing trainings as well that are built into it?
There is. So we have something called Allentuck Achieves, which is our crew leader development program. And every year we'll take 3 to 5 candidates of people we think can become crew leaders in the future. They actually apply to be in the program. We don't accept everyone. This is one area that our employee care person has come in real handy in interviewing and making recommendations to us. And it's essentially a 6-month program where we meet every other week and we're training every skill that we possibly can fit into that time. We're building camaraderie. We have meals with every day that we're doing that. It's an entire day and our production managers run it. And it's really neat to watch people grow through that. And we have a really good record of promoting into the crew leader core from that. They're guaranteed to make crew leader pay, starting crew leader pay once they graduate. And whether or not they actually become a crew leader or they're a crew leader in waiting or that person we can throw in a position if somebody needs to be out sick or on vacation. I can tell you right now, my production managers are both on vacation. Their families are together, they're cousins. And we had people to fill their seats right away, and we had people to fill those seats that were being filled right away. And that is a great bonus to us. And it gives those people experience in a position the next level up. I just came from a job site where they were, and they were doing a great job, and I was really proud of them and got to say so. And they were enjoying being in a new position for a week and possibly down the road. So that's been a lot of fun. We do have fun with it because we do serve food and we have an outdoor kitchen at our office. So we do a lot of cooking during it. And we actually have a graduation with pomp and circumstances and cap and mortar boards, hats and everything. And everybody gathers for it. It's a big cookout. It's a ton of fun. And we give diplomas.
Very nice. No, that's awesome stuff. And, I think that, for anyone listening that, doesn't have a company that's established and successful as yours is, Bruce. I mean, I think that, when it comes to, growing a business is, and marketing a business and the initial sales it takes to kind of grow a business to a level where it has 45 employees, like Allentuck Landscaping, they may have the technical skills and, some of those aspects, but what keeps it, kind of what's it like that sustainable approach to it, to operating the business, there's really no shortcuts to it. And I think it's, really impressed with what you've been able to do there with, being able to, keep all the team members motivated and, because that's really the name of the game right there. So it's really cool stuff.
Thank you. It's just more fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to see people achieve and fun to get together. And if you like the people you're working with because you selected them well, it's just better.
Yeah. And it's not the most exciting thing to talk about, when it comes to business and landscaping businesses, but it's, at least in my opinion, I think, that the training aspect, the soft skills as a leader, that's how companies are able to really, really grow. So, I think these kind of conversations are huge. We have a question from someone already, from Hirschberger Creations. How do you scale your solo business to increase profits without as much overhead? Any advice for a solo operator, Bruce, looking to scale?
Well, I think, it all starts with sales, of generating enough revenue to be able to start hiring people. And, the faster you get them trained up and the faster that you can delegate to them, because as owners, and I've certainly made this mistake along the way, we try to do it all. We can't do it all. And as soon as we can have people doing, as soon as we can take a hat off and give it to somebody else, and we're wearing a lot of hats, it frees us up to put time and brain into something else. If we can't delegate, we're going to drown in it. And that was a hard lesson to learn going way back. And it's still sometimes hard. I catch myself trying to solve a problem that maybe I shouldn't be solving. And there's a bit of ego involved in that. I can do it better than anybody else, I like to think. I don't think that anymore. I think that other people in our company can do some of the things they do way better than I could. And that's been pretty cool to watch too. But I think that's the way to scale and grow. And the one caveat to that is I would start writing down everything that you do and how to do it, the E-myth or processes. Really important to be able to share that information and hold people to standards.
Yeah. Awesome. Which is tough to like write down everything you do, because you may not see the importance of it
Yeah.
until it's almost too late and you're the one doing way too many things, and then now you have to do even more by writing down those processes. So it's
it can be painful,
yeah,
but so necessary.
yeah, and it's better to listen to someone like Bruce, who's been there and has done it. So if you are at that point of scaling your company and you are still handling a lot of the items, now's the time to make sure you write down some of those processes. So
And it never ends.
yeah,
You're still going to go back and rewrite the same processes over and over. I'm still writing them. It's just a never-ending task, but it's not a bad task.
yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, can you tell us a little bit about writeplans.com as well?
Sure. So that was created by my daughter and I. We literally came up with the idea driving back from her college graduation at Virginia Tech. She was a landscape architecture major. No, she does not work in my company. She's in urban planning up in New York City now. But we both love gardening. We're both kind of plant geeks. She took plenty of horticulture classes, as I did, at a different university. And we just never really, we'd look on gardening websites together and never really love any of them. So we said, let's just create our own and see where it goes. So we created a database of, I think there's almost 2,000 plants in it. We took all the photographs ourselves. So we would go visit botanical gardens around the country together, which was a ton of fun. We still are doing some of that. So it's searchable by zone, by light, by color, by whatever. You can really narrow it down. And we have, I think, about 1,700 blog posts on there. Everything from garden to kitchen to plant problems to pests. We get a lot of visitors to it, and it's been a ton of fun, and it's continuing to grow. And actually, it's a decent resource for industry people because they're always looking for plants to use and looking for plants for different criteria. And there's a lot of landscape blog posts in there as well. She is taking a little bit of a sabbatical from it while she earns her master's, which she'll earn later this fall. But building it with her has been a ton of fun and a way to continue our relationship. I have 3 daughters, and each relationship's a little bit different. The one common bond is that we're all runners and like to work out a lot. But I have something special with each one, and that's what I have with Tara. And I really enjoy it. I find it very rewarding.
Very cool. Yeah, no, it sounds like an awesome resource. Even just those blog posts alone, 1,700. That's definitely some great information there. So I'll include the link in the comments to that as well. So definitely recommend for people to check that out. I mean, no, that's all awesome stuff, Bruce. I mean, anything else you'd like to leave the community with?
We're lucky to work in a really cool industry where we get to work with our hands, we get to be outdoors, and our mission at Allentuck Landscaping is improving lives through landscaping. And I think that as an industry, we really do that. And I think that showed during COVID that we created these outdoor spaces for people to get out of the house, to enjoy fresh air. I believe in nature. Time in nature is really important. And I don't care if it's somebody's home or an office building or a shopping center. I think that what we bring to open spaces and green spaces is really important. And I think that by seeing what is being invested in our industry by outside resources now shows that other people are seeing it too. And I think that's been really special to watch over the last couple of years.
Absolutely. No, that's we really appreciate you sharing some of your advice, and definitely recommend for those that are listening to check out some of the resources, my Landscape Academy and Bright Plants. Thanks again, Bruce.
Yeah, thank
joining
you
us.
for coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate your time and I appreciate you guys very much. So thanks.
Awesome.